In a world where indie game devs battle burnout, they crunch through long all-nighters, and maybe they chase the dream of a viral hit, there's one question I think that I've been asking myself. Is this soul-crushing grind still worth it? Is it still the path to becoming an indie game dev in 2026? Or has Friend Slop, these short and sweet, hyper-focused indie games, are they the new standard? Have they flipped the script? These super sweet short games, they let creators release profitable indie games in just a few months without, well, losing their sanity. And what happens when visionary developers like Edmund McMillen and Tyler Glaiel pour 6 years into a wildly ambitious roguelike like Mewgenics, blending poop humor, cat eugenics, and 50s jazz vibes into something almost infinitely deep and replayable? This game is massive. Let's jump into this super honest and raw conversation with the OG indie game devs and answer the question, is grinding for years on a single ambitious idea even worth it anymore? Or can quick wins truly satisfy the soul of game devs in 2026? And be sure to stick around to the end because we dive deep into so much more. It's kind of a therapy session, honestly. Conversations with Ed are always therapy sessions. And the cherry on top at the end of this conversation, Ed and Tyler actually crack open Mewgenics and they show, well, how the meat is made. So stick around. It's really, really fun. That question I have about playtesting, if someone was to stream it, I'm just curious because I'm wrapping up my game right now and I put a big confidential logo on the game just because I got paranoid. Like, if someone was to stream the game, do you think it would hurt it or help it?
It would help it.
Yeah, it wouldn't matter.
But I mean, I don't want to say that.
Yeah. you don't want people to just like go and show it like the second and third acts, like final bosses or whatever are.
Yeah.
Like
we've talked about that. I mean, we've talked literally about like, because, you know, when you're showing off cool stuff and in our game, the cool stuff really doesn't, the spicy visual stuff doesn't pop off until the mid act 2. So like we want to show a little bit of that, but we don't want to spoil too much. But then we'd be like, well, what the does it even matter? Like, we could show the whole game and I don't think it would take away much at all.
Yeah.
But there's it feels like an unfair advantage when it comes to lore or something to spoil too much of the game's story and stuff like that.
We don't want people to just like know everything that's in the game going in. We want people to be able to experience it together and like discover all the stuff that's in the game.
Ed, I know I was going to ask if you guys have made a linear game before, and I know Super Meat Boy, I guess we'd call that linear, right? But Tyler, you didn't work on Super Meat Boy, right? No, okay. So the thing about linear games is it's kind of one and done, right? I mean, if a streamer were to stream it before it releases, you know, they can show all the content.
Yeah.
Whereas Binding of Isaac and Mewgenics, is Mewgenics basically infinitely playable?
I mean, to a point. I mean, as much as Isaac is.
Yeah. Okay. And it's fully dynamic, always changing all the time. So even if someone was to stream the game, they're not going to even get a tiny.
No. Yeah.
You know?
No two streamers are going to have the same run.
Yeah. And that's the charm of it, right? I mean,
yeah.
Did you guys make the game with that in mind, knowing that that is a marketable thing to do?
Not so much marketable, but that it's fun and it makes it for a unique experience. Like going in, it's like, how can we make this different for each person? And I had mentioned to Tyler earlier too, and just saying like it would have been really fun, or it could have been a thought that I had, and I don't know if I mentioned it. It would have been really fun to have recorded all of the PR stuff that we've done when we do runs with writers. Because every one of those runs is vastly different. And the last one was hysterical, but the guy didn't really talk much about it. And it would have been a really, really fun one to show to the public. And I kind of regret that. But I mean, it just makes me excited for what's to come.
Yeah. Yeah. The reason I ask, and then I want to jump into some Twitter questions, because I feel like that'd be fun to break some ice with just some questions from my audience. But the reason I ask is because, I mean, Ed, you and I have talked about this. I'm making a linear first-person shooter, you know? Yeah. And I don't regret it because I love making it. I'm making what I love. But it's taken almost 5 years. And it's just a massive project. And it's one and done, you know? You play it and you're done. And I'm just sitting here at the end of the project, ready to ship it, almost ready to ship it. And I'm thinking, is this not a feasible way to make games anymore? You know, a linear game, not very dynamic. It's fun. It's a great story. It feels good. You know, what do you guys think? Is that a feasible way to make games anymore?
I mean, aren't all like the major blockbuster games linear games?
I wouldn't say so anymore. I don't know. Like I don't know. I don't really play.
They're all like open world, like
yeah,
do
open world stuff,
type things.
Sandboxy. Yeah,
they still make games like Last of Us. I mean, Resident Evil is not going to be sandboxy.
Correct.
Yeah, true.
Resident Evil, I feel like, I'm not saying it is like nobody makes linear games anymore.
What I'm saying is, I think it's still viable.
Yeah,
I think in a lot of ways, there are a certain amount of people out there who look at a game like Isaac or Mewgenics and think to themselves, I don't have that amount of time.
Yeah, I don't want to play a 200-hour game. Yeah.
Like, isn't the new big giant indie game Hollow Knight Silksong? That's a linear game for the most part. It's a Metroidvania.
Metroidvania. Do we consider Metroidvania linear games?
Yes, I would consider that a linear game.
There's like two paths. There's a few branching paths, but that is.
I think don't we consider that
linear? Linear is a weird word. I like. Yeah. On single player campaign.
Story driven.
Yeah. Story driven. Do you guys ever? Do you ever wish you had some time to do that, or do you enjoy creating these?
We were working on one. When Tyler moved to Santa Cruz, we started on Ether, a full version of Ether, which was the first game that we made together. Yeah. And that was, I mean, I guess it's linear. I mean, you would still get to go wherever you wanted. It's open world.
It wouldn't have been linear, what we were talking about for it.
Yeah, I guess it's still open world.
Yeah. The End is Nigh was a linear game.
Right.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, the End is that was a linear game.
What do you prefer to make? I mean, is it just seasonal? It depends on your mood.
The End is Nigh was pretty easy to make because it only took 9 months to make, and there weren't any like hiccups throughout development.
Platformers aren't the hardest thing in the world.
Fun part about working on something like Mewgenics is infinitely replayable is that you don't get bored of it while making it.
Yeah.
Which
happens, surprises you, right?
Which happens with like a single player campaign type game. You know, in the lead up to The End is Nigh coming out, I could 100% the game in 4 hours, and I did that quite a few times. So, you know, it's hard to like view that from the perspective of a player because you're like, all right, at this point I'm a speedrunner of this game. Like I've played it so many times that I know every like little piece of the game like by heart, and it's hard to like just have fun playing the game. I mean, that game, I did have fun playing that game, but it's hard to engage with it as like fan.
Yeah, it would have been hard to turn that into a 6-year project. It wouldn't. Wouldn't have felt nice.
A tutorial in Mewgenics that I've had to play like 100 times is like the whole. that's what grates me when I have to like start up a new run. I'm like, oh god, I got to 120th time. And it takes like 2 minutes to play the tutorial, but
realistically, I don't think any genre isn't viable.
Okay.
I think in fact, I think the opposite. I think it's the linear, non-linear. It doesn't matter what the hell you're making, as long as it's something new that people don't know that they want. Totally. Once somebody has bought a game, they don't buy it usually again, right? So it doesn't matter if you've got them playing the game for 8 hours versus 1,000 hours. That didn't translate to more money with Binding of Isaac or whatever else.
Well, it matters a little bit in how long people stream it for.
Okay, the reason I ask you all this is because I had a previous guest on, and he wanted me to ask you a question, Ed. And Tyler, obviously, you can pipe in too.
Is it why poop? Because I already answered that one. I answered that yesterday.
I think maybe we have some Twitter people following me on Twitter who might have questions.
It's the new why meat, man. I forgot all about those questions.
Yeah, I played with a lot of poop. I played a little bit of Mewgenics today, and I had a great time actually. But lots of poop. But the previous guest, he and I were talking about Friend Slop, and I don't know if you guys even care about Friend Slop or know what Friend Slop is, because you seem like you're in your own little silos. What's that, Tyler?
I've played one or two of those.
Yeah. So the question is basically like Friend Slop is this like relief to a lot of indie developers because they feel like they can, and it's true, like they can spend 3-4 months on a game, make multiplayer, use assets, and just pump it out there on Steam and have a ton of success in like 4 to 6 months, maybe even a month. I've seen some developers spend like 30 days on a project, I think, and it just blows up. And the person who was on the podcast, his name is Chris Sikowski. He's like a marketing expert, and he's looking at the data, and he said that indie developers don't have to be miserable and grind for years to make great games anymore. They can make them really quick and pump them out fast, and that can be a really enticing idea. And I said, well, when I first started making indie games, I saw, Edmund McMillen on that documentary, and he was just grinding, and you were suffering, and I said, I don't know what Ed would think about this because Ed has had to suffer and spend years on projects. Chris on the podcast, he said, well, ask Ed how he feels. Is grind sometimes a necessary thing for great games? Or are you doing something wrong if you're grinding and you're miserable? Is that a convoluted question? I'm not sure, but
I think depending on the situation. No, I guess I understand the question. Yeah, I mean the question of like, if you're grinding, does that mean you put yourself in a situation where you needed to do so? In the times that the first game I ever worked on and first grind I ever did was to release Gish. And that was literally, we needed to do it in order to make money. We were out of money and we needed to do a bunch of 24-hour shifts to get this out by the date that we said that we were going to do, in order to get it out to people because everybody expected it then. That was the first one. And that would repeat for almost every significant one until Mewgenics, where it was like lock a date down, because me or somebody I'm working with is running out of money and we crunch to get to that date. And there's more to that though. It's the word crunch. It's the idea of crunching for something, the hustle, the throwing your life away into a project. Mm-hmm. I don't count that as crunch, but that is required for this. That is a reality. And I talked about that recently, and it's a reality simply because if you don't do it, there's a out here that will, and he'll crush you.
It's very competitive.
That's it. That's the reality. Like there is somebody out there that will step right up in there, and that person might have no life other than this. So it's like, well, you got to do what you got to do, and you got to get in there and do it. That is simply factual, but how you hustle and how much of it is a torture to yourself or a detriment to your life is really up to you. And, but I do think it's still a requirement, but I can understand the argument.
So you feel like it is a like, cause that's what I said in the podcast. And I said, most games at the end of the rainbow, you have to live in hell for a little bit, 2 months, 3 months of just grinding. And you might even hate your game. You might be kind of sick of it. And if I just said, like, if developers are in that hell, it doesn't mean they've done something wrong. That's just what happens, especially towards the end of production. That final 5 to 10% of development is actually like the final 40 or something.
Yeah. I think the really like contextual thing is like when it's a big company forcing employees to do that for them, and they're not getting they're like not really a part of the project beyond being like a credited name. Like it's not their game, it's somebody else's game. And I think that's, that is understandably like considered bad these days, but I don't think it fully applies if you are like, if it's your game and you are like a stakeholder and like a main, like core part of the game. And have an investment in its success. In which case,
you're right.
I'm going to do all the work that's required to get the game done.
Yeah, I guess this is related to friend slop because, and believe me, guys, we'll talk all about Mewgenics, but
Yeah.
I did want to ask you about this, mainly because Ed, when you were in that documentary, and I know you're sick of the documentary, probably.
They're coming out. They're coming out Monday
with another one.
No, they're coming out to film.
Oh, are they really?
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay. Well, I'd love, yeah. So like, congratulations, by the way, that's awesome. But like, the reason this is related to the documentary is because I learned from you that if I wanted to make a game and a great game and I wanted to have a stake in it and make some money from it and not work for somebody else, I would need to suffer a little bit. And just because I observed you doing it, and I was like, okay, well, he's doing it, I'm going to do it. And a lot of indie developers felt the same way. They saw you suffering and they were like, man, this guy's like, he's grinding. And this is kind of cool. Like, it's almost like, it's like, you're rooting for the hero to win the war. And this is related to friend slop because it feels like there's this thing. I don't know if you guys have seen like on Twitter and stuff, like so many friend slop games have been blowing up and doing so well. And it seems like this fantasy of, hey, I can make a game quick and fast and dirty and make a ton of money. It seems like that fantasy is being propagated on Twitter. And I'm trying to figure out, am I old school and am I wrong to think that is a fairy tale? Or is that actually really happening? And is that something?
I think an answer to a lot of your questions is stop caring. Yeah. You're overthinking this, dude.
Yeah.
Do you want people to refer to your game as blank slop? Like that doesn't like, I mean, it's kind of just like in the genre name at this point. Like that's what people think about those games.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the reason I bring it up and the reason I care is because, so I have a YouTube channel and I talk about game development. I just tell people my journey and I try and encourage them and cheer them on. And I'll cheer people on through Burnout. I'll say, kind of get over it and just keep going through it. You got to burn through it. And sometimes people are like, no, actually, if you're burnt out and you're miserable, you're doing it wrong. See all these friend slop games, see all these developers who made a game in 4 months, they're doing it right. Thomas, you're giving bad advice. And so I'm trying to figure out, like, am I wrong here in telling people to power through the burnout? You know what I mean?
Yes and no. I mean, the answer to all these questions is also yes and no.
It all depends.
It really depends on
I'm a proponent of people making games like if they are early on in their career and don't have much experience, to just make stuff as quick as they possibly can and learn the whole cycle.
Mm-hmm.
You know, prototype, development, release, support, like all that as fast as possible and make as many as you can.
Slop it up.
Slop it up. Good.
Slop it up.
Slop it up. If you're learning, slop it up.
That's good.
Both of us made like a load of like Newgrounds games back in the day, and those took between days and weeks to make. Sometimes hours for me. Look,
it feels like the friend slop. Go ahead. Sorry.
My most popular like Newgrounds game took me 3 hours to make.
Slop. Slop it up. Slop it up. Yeah, it feels kind of like the Newgrounds era is coming back in a weird way. With
sometimes it doesn't matter. Sometimes it does. In the end, all that matters, the only thing that is shared amongst all of the successes is someone is offering something that hasn't exactly been done the way it's being done here, and it is fun.
Got it. So newness is really important to you, Ed.
I mean, it doesn't even but yeah, newness is important. I don't want to make something that's boring. I mean, I think that stuff that seems old is boring. You don't want to do the exact same thing as everybody else. You don't want to do the exact same themes and genre and everything you want to try to mix it up as much as you can. But there's another component is the game good, which is a very hard thing to figure out, especially for new developers too.
Yeah.
Like, is this elegant? Is it obtuse? Does it work? Is it giving you all the bits and pieces? Like, is it stimulating all of the fun centers of your brain that it should be? Is it making you feel like you're doing something difficult and overcoming it? Is there some sort of repetition to it that's meditative? There's all these different elements of what makes a good game good that aren't universal. So that one's hard to quantify. But what are you going to do? But that's what John Blow would say. Like if someone was coming to him and they were like, "Here, I'm burning out on this game," he would look at the game and then he'd be like, maybe the game's not fun, and that's why you're burning out on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's a reality. Yeah. And it's a harsh
Sometimes
reality.
that's the case.
Sometimes it is the case.
Yeah.
And it's not to give up, but maybe wrap it up. Yeah. Like wrap it up and move on to the next thing.
I think John Blow does seem to be a fan of, like, I don't know, take a break and then come back to it with like a fresh set of eyes or whatever.
Sometimes it works.
Which is sometimes what's needed. My thing is always, if you're making a game, and you want to sell it, and it's not just for like a learning thing, you need to have like a reason why people would want to play your game specifically over any of the billion other options that are on Steam.
Exactly.
If you can't answer that question, then you're gonna be in for harder time.
Right. So let's shift gears here and talk about Mewgenics. You guys are in the middle of playtesting right now, right? Or would you call it beta testing? Is it beta testing or is it just?
It's playtesting. I totally forgot. I totally forgot that I gave you a code. And then when you mentioned playing it, I was like, wait a minute, did I give you a code? I'm like, so my brain is just full.
I played, I think for like an hour and a half, which I know is not long enough. I think maybe you needed 20 hours from me before you could get a good assessment.
I would say 6 hours. 6 hours.
But I will say, man, it's cool. These games are not for me. They really aren't. I'm just telling you the truth here. I'm too I'm not heady enough for these kind of games. And I had a blast. I think the reason I had a blast, and I wanted to move into this as the first question. The reason I had a blast was because the tutorial and the teaching was so well done. I want to ask about that. Was that a pain to tutorialize this game?
Tyler really did that.
Oh yeah,
Tyler did that.
Well, we started working on the tutorial like a year and a half ago, probably. Most of the systems were in place. We did it was a long process because we knew this was the first thing that we did was we did a lot of playtest runs with like Steam Remote Play, where we would stream the game from my PC on people would play it on my PC through Steam Remote Play.
Oh wow, that's cool.
And we would just see what we needed to tell people to get them to learn the game when they play their first run. Keep notes of that, and we're like, okay, people need to know this and this and this. Like every single run starts with, okay, here's how you click things, and here's what the mana cost is, and here's with what the UI means. Then it was when we sat down to make the tutorial, we wrote a quick outline of what needed to be said. Like it's going to be an intro adventure where you do a battle, an event, a treasure, and then a boss fight, or like a, intro boss fight. And in the battle, it needs to go, we need a character to pop up and tell you these things. And because this is the very first thing that people will see when they start the game, we can put a lot of effort into polishing all of that stuff. Mm-hmm. Like having the NPC just pop up on screen and point to UI elements and stuff. All that is really annoying stuff to do. Like there's a reason why most of these games out there, their tutorial is it'll pause the game, dim the screen, and just pop up a window that just says, this is what a parry means. Okay. And stuff like that, which is fine. The goal is just to teach you to play the game. But a lot of the work that we put into having the NPCs feel alive when they're talking to you, having like personality in that, we were able to use all that stuff later on in the game as well. So it wasn't like effort wasted for just a tutorial.
No. And like I said, if you could capture an audience that includes people like me, with those tutorials, and because I honestly, guys, I've never played a game like that. I play, like I said, I play story games and horror games, and so I was just like, oh, this is actually really fun, like a turn-based game like this, and it was unique and fresh for me. But I think what really worked about the tutorials is they were funny. the whole game is hilarious. Who's the mind behind the humor?
I think it's me.
Yeah, Ed writes the text. There's some bits of me in there. But, Ed writes
Yeah, Tyler wrote "he go."
I will say, Tyler, I laughed when I saw that. So good job.
Everybody reacts to that, so we can't replace it.
There are certain things in the game that that Tyler has a placeholder in that are just legitimately funny for many different reasons, and I don't change them.
Yeah, it brings me to think about adding features to games like this. When you add a feature or a new ability or whatever, do you guys think if we add this, we have to tutorialize it? So that's like an extra layer of time and development and cost for this time.
Oh, it's the other way. We did all of the features and then did the tutorial.
Oh, really? So
yeah,
you don't ever do you ever add feature?
It sounds like a long time ago, but that was like 4 years into development.
Really? So you knew what features you needed at the beginning of the development?
Yeah, I think that's the general way you design a tutorial, is that you never want to do the tutorial as the first thing you make because it's too important and you don't know what you need to tell people. So we had the game in place when the tutorial was being worked on, and we could measure how well it worked by just giving the game to a new person, letting them play the tutorial, letting them play a run, and then seeing if they actually know how to play the game after the tutorials. And over the course of probably 6 months where we're slightly rearranging things that are said in the tutorial and being like, oh, this isn't the right place to mention turn order because people gloss over it here. But we do have to mention turn order or else people don't know what things at the top of the screen are.
Yeah.
Just slightly adjusting things over and over until it seems like we can hand the game to a new player and they can just play it and not be confused.
We've continued to add and chip away at it. There's always a back and forth. It's like I'll get a play test report from somebody, because so the way I play test too is I encourage you to beat Boris because I need that in order to play test. That's the whole point of me giving you a code. So beat Boris, so I can ask you some questions.
How far into it is Boris?
About 4 hours.
Okay,
but so I'll get feedback and then I'll be like, Tyler, people still aren't understanding this. What should we do? At this point, it's fine.
Yeah, there's a lot of nothing. Like,
yeah, do nothing.
There's a danger in adding too much information to the tutorial that you don't immediately need to know.
Yeah.
Because people will not read stuff. Like, it'll be like, oh, it's too much text.
And yeah, quite a few times I've gone through that tutorial and chopped out walls of text and then had to be like, well, we need to add this. Like, I'm going to add 2 more words here that'll give enough information that hopefully people will retain it. Fingers crossed. There's only so much you can do. And hopefully they will learn from experience, or when in doubt, they can always talk to an NPC and get tips, which we do have in there, but nobody seems to do.
So is this a particular problem for this game? Like, do the tutorials need to be much more in depth than your previous games?
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
This needs words, and all the other ones don't need words.
This is the worst type of tutorial to make is this type. All the other games,
it's a board game. Like,
all the other games,
it's a board game.
It's like you just make a level where you controls on a wall, and then you press the control. Like, oh, that's jump. Oh, I gotta jump over this thing, and then that's the tutorial. Like, that's all the other games we've made. Literally, what's the tutorial for Isaac is the starting room has the controls on it.
Yeah, there's a drawing on the ground.
Yeah.
That's it.
The starting area of the End is Nigh just has some drawings on the walls.
Yep.
Older games are similar to that. That's nice. I like doing those types of tutorials a lot better than this text dialogue thing that takes 6 months of iteration to make sure it works right. Kind of thing.
Well, how are you guys feeling? How are you feeling about launch?
I'm feeling good.
Yeah. Good. We're in the weeds on the boring part of dev. And it's hard to think ahead too much.
Yeah.
When I have to be I gotta do gamepad controls.
Right.
Or
Tyler's really in the most boring part of development.
Yeah.
Is it bugs
dread-
or is it
No.
Nah, the game doesn't have bugs. No bugs. 0. Promise. Guaranteed.
Tyler's making gamepad support. He's just finished the bulk of getting everything ready for localization, which involved him going through how many lines of text, how many words
What?
did you
It's
go through?
140,000 English words,
good grief.
which is like several thousand tooltips. And what I had to do the previous month was read over every tooltip with the code in another window to make sure that there wasn't like, we didn't say the wrong thing in the tooltip for what the code does, and be like, oh, I don't remember what this thing does actually, and have to load it up in the game and double check it and stuff like that. And that took forever. That was a nightmare. And then we have another guy we're looking over for grammar and punctuation errors. And like slowly whitelisting a bunch of text that's ready to be localized, which there's still errors in it, and they're catching it.
So is this
it's the most boring task I've ever done.
Is it stressful to you? Like, does it cause you to kind of freak out, or is it just a grind?
Not just a grind. Just sit down and do it, right?
Yeah. I mean, this is not both of y'all's first rodeo. You've made and released games, but is this your longest development cycle?
Yeah.
For a game?
Yeah. Yep.
It's 5 years,
for both
right?
of us.
6 years.
6 years. When it comes out, it'll be like 6 years and like a month from when we started in this version. That's not counting prototypes before we started working.
Right. Well, I think I saw a video that Mewgenics has been in development for 10 years, because it was like you had like a small little prototype.
That wasn't in development. There was an iteration of Mewgenics that was a prototype that was much different than the game is now, which was in development for about 18 months and canceled.
Okay.
And then it was nothing for many years, and then officially back in development 6 years ago.
So
roughly.
Why do you think it took 6 years to make this game?
It's big. I mean,
we talked about that too, because we got to the point last year where we're like, oh, most games like this would have only done the first 2 acts, and that would have been the end of the game. And our testers just assume that is the end of the game, and then they're floored when there's a third act. And so we could have chopped a third of the game out and probably still had a pretty okay game. I don't know. This really felt like a we're going for it type situation. Like this, me personally, I think this is my best game, and I want it to be my best game. And if it has I see the potential for it, so I want to go for it. And I think without even saying that, me and Tyler agreed that without saying we agreed, we know that this game needs this in order to be what it should be.
Yeah. So you kind of view it as your magnum opus. Would you say that?
I guess I guess.
Yeah. It's
the culmination of everything. Not only what I've learned through all these years, but also thematically, it pulls in characters and aspects and storylines from a majority of my games.
Wow.
That are all sucked together in this thing.
Well, Tyler, what do you think? Why do you feel like it's taken so long?
Well, I think what happened was we kept adding stuff to it and it kept getting better. Like that's like the short of it. Like as we add stuff to it, the game gets better and better and better. And like normally when you're working on a game, you just keep adding stuff to it until it feels like you've added all you can, and then it's done, and then you release it. And this game just never feels like it's done because everything we add makes the game better. And we're not done because we've got like enough content in our like ideas page of the design spreadsheet to like make 2 DLCs, maybe 3 DLCs. So there's a lot of it's a big game.
Yes.
It's a big game. We also we work very efficiently. Like all the setup that I have to implement content, it's very quick to add items and enemies.
Right.
And so that time in 6 years is really a
Would you guys say, in terms of like visual fidelity, is this game more visually I don't know the word, like polished than your previous games, or is it less polished visually?
Oh, it's more polished than anything I've done.
Okay. And there's a ton of assets, right? Like just a ton of assets.
Yeah. Insane. Like crazy numbers, crazy numbers.
Yeah, I should add up how much seconds of animation there are in the game if you add up every enemy's like animation set.
Yeah, the bulk of the work is animation. Like we have 3 animators who've been working as much as they feel like working for the past couple years. So it's a tremendous amount of animation work, and it is a situation where now that we're polishing, we're doing cutscenes and wrapping that stuff up. But that's closing like within the next month and a half. I think they'll all be done, and then all these 3 animators can just dive in and just pad stuff out, make stuff better, add more animations. It's kind of the more the merrier situation where it's like we still do the Pokemon thing where most magical spells have 1 of 7 animations that are used. And it might look cooler to have a custom animation for a specific ability. Yeah. So they can go ahead and they can do that and they can rig it together. Like Tyler said, like his stuff works really well. All you do is put it in and export it, and then you write what it is in play animation, this one, and then it's done. So it's a very easy thing for anybody to jump in and do.
Well, it's one thing
we have well over 1,000 cat animations too. It's kind of crazy at this point how many there are.
Dude, that's crazy. You know, I think about the complexity of visual and like visual assets and audio assets, and that's one thing. But something that I was thinking about when I was playing, you know, in the time that I had to play it, was how complicated the balancing of this game must be. And I'm thinking about it because for the project that I'm working on, which is again a linear first person shooter, about 3 hours in with my current playtesting that I'm doing, about 3 hours into the gameplay, the balancing just completely unravels. You know, too much ammo or too little ammo. It's very bipolar. Yeah. You know, some people have way too much currency. Some people have no currency at all. It's like this balancing nightmare, and it keeps me up at night because I'm thinking, how am I going to solve this without just like understanding where every single item is placed in the game? And so I wanted to ask you guys, how are you balancing this game? Because there's so many variables. There's so many, variables.
It's balanced like a board game. It's balanced like Magic the Gathering. There are casting costs for spells, and those translate to, you know, like on average, a spell that costs 5 mana and deals 3 damage is like an average, right? It's actually a little bit lower than average, depending on the class that you're going with. There are certain classes that can do things more efficiently than other classes. There are certain classes that can do things that other classes can't. There's certain classes that can never do certain things. But it's a numbers thing that isn't that hard to tweak and tune. Yeah. And I think a lot of it comes from our experience with Magic the Gathering. And playing board games, period. Like Terraforming Mars, Magic the Gathering.
So a roguelike, which kind of thrive in imbalance in a lot of ways. You know, people want to do crazy. Maybe you'll get an overpowered ability, but you won't get that in any other run. So you have this thing where it's like, this cat is really crazy right now. It's the only time I'm ever going to have this specific cat with this combo, because it's so rare to get this like one disorder and whatever. So then you're like, even though it's overpowered, you're like scared. Like, what if I lose this cat? I don't get this stuff.
Yeah.
And like people play differently like that. So that's
and it's easy to collect when me and Tyler are playing, and we tell each other, oh my God, look at this broken run. And then we show each other, the chances of failure is high because you fly too close to the sun. Yeah. You get really relaxed with your play styles. You're like, whatever else. And then or it gets really tense, which is great because the tense moments where you have to like, how am I going to survive this, are always really fun.
But we are on the lookout for times where that's not the case, where you're like, this is broken and I'm not in any risk whatsoever. And this is only like 2 pieces of a combo or only 1 ability in the worst case. Like, well, I had a run the other day where, all right, these are early game classes, so I could still spoil the abilities. But Hunter has an ability called Traps, which if he shoots his attack on an empty tile, it places a bear trap on the ground. And this ability had an extra passive on it that was, whenever a trap catches something, he gets an extra basic attack. So he can use 2 attacks the next turn. Like, he basically gets the bear trap back. Turns out that was extremely broken when comboed with one other ability the hunter has, which is split shot, which hits 5 tiles in a plus shape. Because you just shoot one enemy with it, does damage to the enemy, and then surrounds him in bear traps. The enemy can't move because once he moves, he gets captured by the bear trap. You get your attack back. You then just like scatter bear traps in a larger area because you have 2 attacks this time. And then you just spin him around there. And then he can like push enemies into the bear traps and he'll have like 8 attacks the next turn. And I'm like, I can't lose. Like, this is him. It's impossible to lose. I'm not even in any danger of losing because I can surround every enemy with bear traps and just stand back. So we did have to nerf that ability slightly.
Yeah. What's crazy though is that we played for God knows how long. This is a combo that is within the class. This is not a crazy combo. Like you should have run into this at some point, but the odds are still very low. So we just never. I've had the option. I just didn't think. Oh wait, maybe I should try this. I usually have something better to do. But
and now you know there wasn't anything better to do.
Yeah. Now I know. Well, it doesn't matter now. It's gone.
No. You're doing the right thing.
Imbalance. To your point, Tyler, imbalance is kind of a feature of this genre, to some degree.
Well, it's definitely a feature in Isaac. That's one of the reasons why people like to play.
Yeah. Is it because it's just really surprising and really funny when you have a run that's just totally different than you expected?
It feels rewarding. It feels rewarding when it feels like you figured out how to break the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like a fleeting imbalance because once the run is done, you're back to where you were at the start again. Like you have your fun for the hour that the run lasts for, and then you're like, all right, well, time to find something else now. Whereas like, and this was an issue that I had with older tactical RPGs that I was playing, like Final Fantasy Tactics A2, like the DS one, where I figured out an incredibly broken combo in that game at around the halfway point, or it took to the halfway point to like train up all the dudes to have this stuff that was broken, where I could just beat every combat in like 2 turns without enemies taking a turn. But then the rest of the game was boring because I was just doing that over and over and over again. Right? Yep. Like I ruined the game for myself by breaking it, by figuring out, and it's very fun. Like it is a innately like fun thing to figure out this type of stuff.
Yeah.
But so it's like the genre, this genre thrives in you can figure out this type of stuff and you can have your fun, but you can't lean on that for the entire game. Like you have your one moment of like, this is crazy, and then enjoy it while it lasts.
Dude, that's such an interesting, I've learned a lot from what you guys are saying, because with like a linear game, you know, like a first person shooter or something, the game stacks on itself. And if it becomes imbalanced, you need some kind of, I don't know what my solution is going to be, honestly, you know?
Yeah.
You've got to have some kind of thing that balances it back for the player. Resident Evil 4 does this so well. You know, they're going to give you items when you don't even know you need them. And the algorithm, or whatever you call it, the functions behind the code are gonna do it for you, you know, but that's incredibly complicated.
I mean, Resident Evil just like doesn't have ammo in drawers until you open them, and then it decides whether or not it should put ammo there. I think so. Yeah. Something like that. Yeah.
Well, that's great, guys. So let's shift gears here before we open up I would love to open up the game in, I guess, what engine are we using? Are we using a custom engine?
Yeah, it's a custom engine.
Cool. If you're cool opening it up, before we do that, I have some questions from my audience for you guys, if you want to jump into those.
Yeah.
This is from Neisensteiner. He says, making indie games is risky as hell, and staying healthy mentally and physically is a key factor for good work. At least for me. So I'm genuinely curious, does Edmund, and Tyler, you can answer as well, does Edmund take any precautions to protect himself? What? From SARS? Okay, no. I don't know.
Wasn't that COVID?
Got him!
COVID is SARS, right?
Yeah.
Got him.
COVID. Okay, so that's...
I feel like we all went through that in 2020 anyway, so whatever.
Okay, this is from Vista Realm.
I don't use protection.
There you go. Use protection. Vista Realm.
No, I don't. I'm married.
How should indie devs decide which other devs? This is a great question, actually, because you guys seem to have really good chemistry. How should indie devs decide which other devs they should collaborate with? How do you decide how long to spend making the game, and why is that too short or too long? So I guess the first part of the question is, how do you know who's a good partner to work with?
I think it's important for me to find somebody who is smarter than I am. Number one.
I think it's important for me to find someone who's dumber than I am. Do a game jam, right? Like do a weekend game jam project. You'll learn pretty quickly how well.
That is hard though. That people ask that question a lot, and I'm sometimes like, what? Like how did the people that I found? And sometimes it didn't work. Like a lot of the times it didn't work. A few times it did work. And, I'm still in touch with a few programmers that I've worked with over the years that I'm still friends with. And I don't know. Yeah, that's hard. It's hard. Yeah. It's hard. Like I lucked out with Tyler for sure. Not only is he smart, but he's also incompetent, but he's also
incompetent or
competent. But he's also as driven as I am, which was always hard to find. Somebody who wanted this as much as I did and wanted to work as much as I did. Like, I mean, if I didn't have kids, I would be working in tandem with him, and I'd probably be divorced at this point. Like, I enjoy it a lot.
Yeah.
And Tyler enjoys it a lot. And that's important. Yeah. Finding somebody who is on the same page with you as far as that, I think is very important. Because it's very easy to just slip past each other.
Yeah. Finding like an even partner is very difficult. Like in a lot of my early games, it wasn't like an even relationship, because it ended up being me doing the bulk of like the design and programming on some of my earlier projects. Like as much as I wanted the artists I was working with to help with like the game design stuff as well, I would be like, hey, try making a level. People would make a level and be like, they don't quite understand what goes into it. Well, so it's like, all right, fine. You're gonna do the art. It's gonna be fine. But I also just like, I worked with a lot of people on Flash games. Like I would just try working with people, and it would be very short projects. So it was like, all right, well, if I hate this guy after, then whatever. Yep. Weeks wasted working on some pieces. And there's a lot of Newground stuff. Encourage a lot. Team up with someone, make a game, see how well you work together, see if it felt like both parties were pulling their weight and like contributing creatively to the thing, or if it was like, all right, well, I'm working on this thing and they're not, and then release it.
Yeah.
Well, one of my games, the artist basically said, sure, I'll make a game with you, and then just send me a file of art from a canceled project.
Oh, geez, man.
And then I made a game out of it. To be fair, he was very busy at the time with actual important games.
Does having a stake in the game financially, does that help?
Yeah, no, I would not work on a project if I didn't. I'm not working for anybody but myself. Really.
That's right. I think that's an important question to ask.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, because like, getting paid to make a game is a lot different than, risking it all to eventually get paid with a royalty, and it seems like that's the arrangement that you're both sort of partners on this, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you guys ever had a real conflict, like one where you just butted heads on something?
Once It was Fuzzy Feet versus Static Shock naming.
There was one other.
Wait, what?
But yeah, what was the other one?
I'll go with the Fuzzy Feet one first.
Here we go.
The other one was the map visual.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that one. But the Fuzzy Feet one was funny. So I had an ability for a class that as it walks, it builds up static charge, and then when it stops walking, it like arcs it to the neighboring tiles. I called it Fuzzy Feet. because I thought it was
I
funny.
I
'Cause,
wanted
like,
to
the
call it
cats have,
Static Shock.
and Ed wanted to call it Static Shock. But I think the thing what happened was that Ed asked me, like, he was okay with fuzzy feet when he thought that it was a thing that I called static electricity when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And that's not what it was. It's just this fuzzy feet because the cats have fuzzy feet and they make static electricity when they walk.
Yeah.
But it's a funny little I gotta switch it to.
So that was like a for real conflict.
Yeah. Well, we couldn't agree.
I couldn't agree. It doesn't
And
matter,
then, so
but like
we took it to Twitter, and then they voted on fuzzy feet.
yeah.
So I lose.
Have y'all
But
ever?
in my mind, it's still Static Shock in my head.
Yeah.
I see it.
Have
Whenever
you
I
guys
pick
ever
it
had
up,
a conflict where it's
where we physically hold each other down on the ground?
where it scared you? Where it scared you? Like you were like, "Wow, I didn't know that you felt that way."
No, not me.
No.
That's good.
No.
Seriously.
I like the biggest like buttheads thing was probably the world map stuff.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
there was I was not willing to let that go for a while.
Tyler really wanted it to feel like you could visually see the cat adventuring through the world. And I agreed with him, but his suggestions weren't working with my the way I visualize things. And I couldn't get it to work in the way he was seeing it. So the compromise was to have transitions where you transitioned through to the different chapters, which you haven't seen, but you will one day.
Yeah. Basically, there's a part in the game where like when you go from the alley to the sewer, it shows like the alley front, the sewer in the back, and it like zooms out of the alley and into the sewers. That's the compromise solution. But for a long time, it was placeholdered as like a world map with like alleys, sewers, and then the cats would just move from alley to sewer.
Yeah, like you could see a globe or a large map of the whole area. But the problem for me, we're getting into the nitty gritty here. The problem for me was that it would work if it was like a topographical map. It works if all the locations were on the top of a map, but the majority of them are not. They're under the earth. So it's very hard to visually make that work in a way that works and is pleasing to me, that makes me feel okay. I've seen other games do it the way I tried to do it. I hated it. So yeah, we didn't end up doing that.
Yeah.
So Tyler, do you feel like you agree with Ed now on that one thing?
What? No. Like I would have preferred a map there, but you know, we don't have a map, so whatever. You would have preferred static charge instead of fuzzy feet. That's fuzzy feet, so
yeah. Okay, next question here. At a GC talk after making Super Meat Boy, someone asked Ed if the crunch to get Super Meat Boy out for Xbox was worth it in order to have their crazy success. Ed, you said no. Since then, I would love to ask, have you found a happier path to your own personal satisfaction in game dev?
Yeah, I'm not unhappy in any way, shape, or form. I mean, I think that answer caught me in a time where it didn't feel like it was worth it. Looking back, I thought my answer was I don't know, and then maybe I said no. But I
just cut out the I knowns from
But I mean, even and then looking back now, all that said and done, probably not.
It
probably wasn't worth it. But I mean, either way, like it got me to where I am. It needed to happen. It did happen. There's nothing I could do about it. I never have and or will put myself in that same situation again. The crunch wasn't us that was doing that. It was a company that was telling us we need to do it in order to get into a thing we didn't even get into, which was a promotion that they cut from us.
Golly.
And that's why it didn't feel like it was worth it, because it was a lot of killing ourselves for something that was promised that was taken away.
Wow.
And we didn't get to see anything. Everybody else got the promotion, but since we were the last game in this failed promotion, they just got the promotion and it didn't matter. And we could have released later.
Tyler, have you ever crunched like Ed did for Super Meat Boy, where you feel like it may have not been worth it?
Let's see. What for? Closure was my first commercial project, and we put in a handful of all-nighters towards the end to try and submit it to the Sony cert for PlayStation 3, which, like, you know, all-nighters kind of suck. They're not fun. It wasn't good. I think what happened was I think the artist needed to pull an all-nighter, whereas I had finished what I needed to do, and I just in solidarity pulled an all-nighter with him.
Right.
But, you know, that's not quite as comparable to what happened with the Meat Boy stuff. I don't know. I like working a lot. I feel good when I'm getting work done and being productive. I feel bad if I'm like sitting at my computer and being like, I got to get work done.
Yeah.
And then not getting work done. Like that's when I'm like, I need a break. But,
well, how many hours do you guys work a day? And, you know, maybe it's random, but I'm just curious what your schedule looks like.
I try to work from 8 to 4.
Okay. That's a lot different than what it was during the documentary, right?
Yeah. I mean, but I've got 2 children and a wife.
Yeah.
And I'm the only one who drives.
Got it.
So it's difficult.
Yeah, it's amazing how a wife and kids, you're just not allowed to work whenever you want anymore, you know? And I think that's a good thing. I really do. I mean, I get downstairs at 5:30 every night. Not lately. Lately I've been burning the midnight oil, but typically, I'll get downstairs at 5:30 and the game dev switch has to turn off, you know, and you got to be on for your kids. What about you, Tyler?
I don't like pay attention to the hours that much. I just work when I'm feeling productive and try to stop when I'm not feeling productive anymore. For a lot of Muse dev time, what that usually means is that there's a lot of days where I will start getting work done at like 11 or 12 in the morning and just work until dinner and then maybe come back in the evening or maybe not. There's also times like the last month where I'm reviewing these tooltips where I was, oh my God, this is like the worst day for me where I like wake up, I sit down, I'm just reading tooltips and spreadsheets from like 10 in the morning until dinner and then eat dinner and then come back, like play like one game of Counter-Strike and then go back in the spreadsheets until like 2 in the morning. And then I went to bed and I had one of those like Tetris effect type dreams, except I'm like scrolling through spreadsheets reading tooltips.
Yep.
Which is like, this has happened with like programming stuff before. If I'm working on like an unsolved like bug or whatever, and in that case, I can like solve bugs while I'm sleeping, like in the dreams where I'll wake up and be like, I gotta go check that part of the code, and I'll check it. Oh, yeah, I can fix that bug there. Not the case when it's reviewing spreadsheets for grammar errors. There's nothing that I'm finding next morning from that. And I'm like, okay, I can't work till 2 a.m. on this anymore. I gotta stop and I gotta like play some video game or watch some dumb shit on YouTube or something instead of just.
It's funny you bring that up, Tyler, because I messaged Ed earlier today and I asked him if we could do the podcast another day because I was up till 12:30 last night or this morning, I guess, working on my game, and I could not sleep. I was solving problems, and I thought I was asleep, but I wasn't asleep. So I think I may have slept 2 hours last night, and so I'm definitely feeling it right now. But I don't know how to solve that. I think what you said, Tyler, is probably the only solution, which is just don't work till midnight. You got to shut it off eventually. You're just not going to sleep.
Yeah, you need like a barrier between when you stop working and when you like go to bed. I mean, I have them in playing certain types of video games as well.
Yeah. Okay, last question from the audience here, and then we can open up. I'd love to open up Mewgenics in the engine, if you guys are cool with that. This one is for... Honestly, I love this question. I've kind of wanted to ask you this as well, Ed. And again, Tyler as well. Tyler, you're very influential in the industry as well, and you have a ton of history and a ton of experience. But Salazar asks, I want to know, how does it feel to be a living legend? And this might sound like a flattering question or something, but it's actually, I think, a really good question. What does it feel like to? It's not really a financial question. It's just like you're in the atmosphere now. You've pretty much arrived. I feel like you know that you make good games, and surely it must feel good to be confident in your abilities, to know that you're good at what you do, and that you make hits.
How many followers do you have, subscribers on YouTube?
Like 440,000.
How does it feel to have 440,000 followers on YouTube?
That's a great question. Initially, it feels like you're worth something.
Sure. And how will it feel to have 1 million?
Same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, it gets worse. You know what I mean?
I couldn't tell you because I don't feel that way.
Yeah.
I know that people know who I am. I know that a select few of mega nerds, dig my but I don't feel different. I feel like I'm just somebody who makes stuff. Mm-hmm. The better question is simply just like, well, how does it feel to be an artist? And right now it feels good because I'm able to express myself freely with my work. And I'm able to curate an experience for people. And I really do enjoy that. In some weird way, I'm like an entertainer, and I do like to entertain, and it feels good to entertain. Outside of that, it's unquantifiable. It makes no sense. The question doesn't make sense. How does it feel to be this thing that I don't feel like I am? It does. I don't feel, and I'm not saying that in like a humble way. I'm saying that like, it doesn't feel like that. I don't feel any different than I did when I was 18. You know what I mean? So
I do know what you mean. I think most people, when they hear you say that, they probably feel like you're special, like you're just so humble. And I'm curious, do you think is that the case? Is it that Ed has a humility and he has a good head on his shoulders? Or is it true that pretty much anybody, when they get success, it's almost like their subconscious can't compute that success?
I don't know.
Yeah. I've known Ed since before Meat Boy, so
how is it?
He's like not like changed all that much, other than being able to just buy like 100 pinball machines for your garage.
Yeah, exactly. Buying pinball machines. Yeah, buying pinball machines is the most baller shit I've ever done in my whole life. And but I'm not doing it. And Tyler knows that if those pinball machines were actually only $500 each, it'd be the same situation. I'm not trying to get like expensive things or whatever else. I'm not a flashy person. I don't revel in my notoriety in any way, shape, or form, nor do I think it's very valid. I like to think that I can inspire people who feel the way I feel, because growing up feeling the way that I felt wasn't fun. And it felt lonely and terrible. And I didn't feel like there was anybody out there like me. And I happened to have a select few people in my life that pushed me towards art and expressing myself with my art. And to be that for someone feels great. I feel like I'm serving a purpose like a father. And that feels good. But outside of that, it's not like, I like to feel like a teacher in some way. And I do like to entertain, like I said, but beyond that, it's whatever.
Well, Salazar continues the question, and he says, and Tyler, if you have any thoughts as well about how you feel knowing you're a confident game, you have success as a game developer, feel free to pipe in. But Salazar says, what role do you think, and I don't think you're going to like this question, Ed. He says, what role do you think an artist should have in this day and age? Political? Is it beauty? Is it divine? Is it raw emotion? Is it about money? What should the modern artist be?
It's none of those things. None of those things.
It's about art, right?
It's about honesty. That's what an artist does.
Yeah.
An artist is somebody who is honest. And it doesn't matter if you're a fucked up, terrible person who makes art and it's all fucked up and terrible, as long as you're honest about it. Mm-hmm. Because it's a picture. It's an honest picture of something. And most of the time it's an honest picture of who the person who's making the art is, or an honest picture of what the art is about. And all that really matters is how honest you are about it, because that's what art is. Art is being honest, expressing things honestly. And in a lot of ways, I've said, like, business will f that up a little bit, because it'll make you take a step back and it'll make you question why, shouldn't I? People don't like poop. Turns out I've found people think it's weird. People think I'm a weirdo. I put poop in my games and that's crazy. Woo! Ooh, a cat's hump.
Yeah.
Oh God! Oh my God!
Oh,
The cats, the animals that fucking do it in front of everybody. We all see it. We've
This is
seen
like
it.
more contentious than like the eugenics stuff in the game.
It's like, it is. It's like I could cut that out of this game, and the game might sell more. That's what they fucking tell me. That's what they're telling me. The kids, the people, them.
The people on the axes, whatever, everything.
Yeah. If I remove those things, then I'll sell more copies. That might be true. That completely might be true. I remember when I made Tapeworm, and somebody said if I just made it with trains instead of tapeworms, if I just made it with trains instead of tapeworms, that it would actually sell well. And I do believe that's fact, because it's just a game. It's just a mechanical game. But I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. Somebody else can do that. I wouldn't do that. So I'm not doing that, because I am an artist, and it would be dishonest of me to do that.
Can I get y'all's take on? Go ahead, Tyler. Did you have something to say?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think that like art is like at its best when it's like surfacing like unconscious thoughts from the person who made it, like stuff that they can't fully put into words correctly, but are thinking, like it's in their head somewhere when they're like creating their work, and they don't have a good way of expressing it, like just with words, or maybe that's how they do express it, but they don't like, they have something that they want to say in some way, but it's not like super direct or even known exactly what that is when they're making it. Like all that stuff is awesome.
And that is the best way I've heard that said. That was really good.
That was good. Well, you guys want to show me your game in engine? Do you have time?
When you say in engine, you just mean the game.
No, yeah. I mean, so what I usually do with
you want to go into the guts?
I want to go into the guts.
You're not seeing the guts. We can't show you the guts.
Yeah, we can't show you the dev menu. Just has spoilers for the entire fucking game in one screen.
Okay.
I thought you just wanted us to go over the game.
No, but do you want to go over the game?
But
if you don't want to go into the engine, we don't have to.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I think that like you're picturing something like Unity or Unreal where you have like a camera.
Right? Sure, but also like, for example, Jeff Vogel, he came on and he shows us his custom engine and how it works, and how the code works, and how you guys are how he assigns variables and all that.
So he has like a visual editor for that type of stuff, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
yeah, he's got text.
This is my custom engine is like I can explain it. There's not much to see since it's mostly just code.
Wow.
But we do all of our art and animation in Adobe Animate, which is Flash. They export SWF files, and I can load those SWF files with C++ and draw shapes and animations from those SWF files. Everything else in the game is like we don't have a visual editor for anything. It's just code. We have a lot of text files that describe like what abilities do and stuff, and it's just all edited in a text editor.
Wow.
So there's no like visual that like shows this stuff off. Because
that's just crazy to me. That's so crazy to me.
Not that.
I could potentially show you the cat parts FLA if that does anything for you, so you can see how cats are generated.
Oh, cool! This is great. Thanks.
Yeah. Is this what you're looking for?
Yeah. Stuff. We just want to see how this game is made to some degree. So we're in Flash, basically. This is crazy.
Let me go to cat animation.
So much nostalgia from this.
So
I haven't opened Flash in 10 years.
Okay, let's just go to
this is one of 3 files of cat animations because this file is too large. So all the new animations go into cat anis 2, and then they get glued together in engine.
Okay, is it actually vector art, guys, on the export, or is it a PNG on the export?
It's a vector.
No, it's exporting a file, like a whole like SWF file, like the same ones that you would upload to Newgrounds to play the game. This is just like a tool chain like philosophy for me, which is that the less steps involved in getting art into the game, the better. Like I definitely had looked into in Unity, like there's a handful of plugins that do a not great job of letting you export Flash animations. And go back into that one. Actually, there's like the head that appears.
Mm-hmm.
See that head right there? That is a facial blend head, where I just basically said, all right, I told the animators, if you give a head with this certain name, it's gonna blend the face between two face states based on the alpha of the upper head. So the one animator knows how to do that and can like make the faces blend between.
Would you guys consider Adobe Animate
No.
old school, or is it
Sorry.
is it old school? Is it, legacy, or is it it's still a modern tool that
it's not
a modern tool, and it's not very well supported by Adobe.
I figured.
And it has a lot of bugs, and there's a lot of bugs that I know exactly what's causing the bug and have reported it to Adobe multiple times, and they're not going to fix it, or they just don't care. And there's times when I'm like, I should just go get a job at Adobe, walk in there, fix the bugs that I need to fix.
That's right.
It's
Oh, that's great. Wow.
No other animation software works like this.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of good and bad in the way that you can do animations.
There it is. See this? This is the point of where the projectile shoots out from.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And trying to figure out, because the game is in 3D space because it's isometric, but Flash is 2D. So trying to figure out how to specify a 3D point in a 2D animation in Flash, you find another one of those projectile points at some point.
So Tyler, your engine is actually generating a isometric 3D space.
Yeah, well, the game is in isometric 3D, so all the coordinates for where everything are in isometric.
Okay, because a lot of times you could fake it, right, with layering, but you're saying it's actually 3-dimensional with like a z-axis.
Well, the art is still 2D.
Right, but it's on a 3-dimensional plane.
Internally, everything is represented, like the position of game objects are.
Okay.
During the battle. But the animation, there's no 3D information in any of these animations. So trying to figure out how to get 3D information out of things like the projectile spawn point is there's a lot of jank and math and
So let me break down what you're seeing here, because this is all this is the animation saying this is where the leg is, but these aren't the actual pieces of the cats. This is just the points saying, okay, this is a head. In this FLA, these are the actual cat parts. We've got each part of the cat up here. So each possible part of the cat. And then I've kind of rigged it together over here.
Because Flash will collapse if you try to animate these parts directly.
Yeah. And that is because there's a billion frames in these. So if I open up the leg, and there's a mask that's happening here because there's also a texture behind it. And this is the texture, all the possible textures. Let me make this look better of the cat. And the reason why it's in three colors is to actually make it so it's more than that though. Because if we go over here, there's a little color chooser, primary, secondary, third, extra mouth, lip size. All these hex code shades of gray translate to another file, which is a PNG file that has a pixel for each of the different colors of each cat, including like the classes and whatever else. So that's how we dynamically change the colors of these cats and the way the textures actually read out. Everything's grayscale to start with. But you go into legs, and the first 250 frames, this is all common legs. So any cat can be born with these legs.
I see.
And that's their back legs. And then there's their front legs. And this goes in, I'll show one freaky leg. Let's see. Let's go to 410. All right. We got a really fat or muscular leg. I can't tell. This probably looks like it's fat because the constitution's up and the speed's down. So it's a flabby leg that raises constitution, lower speed. This is a mutation. And we can go all the way across to this insanity, and it goes on forever. And it's the same thing for every piece. Same amount. It's all the different possible things, and each of these has a texture.
So Tyler, is your C++, is it using some kind of, I don't know, API associated with the SWF? And it's using go to frame or something like that?
No, I'm loading it manually. Like
Okay.
the Flash file format spec is/was public. Like there's a 200-page PDF that was on Adobe's website that describes what every field file does.
Wow.
So you just read through that and load it. This was it's the same
what-
engine as the End is Nigh. So the bulk of the work for that type of stuff was done like 10 years ago by me.
So is an SWF what's it look what's I don't know how to explain this. What's the code look like inside of an SWF? Is it a bunch of like variables and stuff that you can access?
It's it's a file format that has a bunch of like tagged it's a bunch of tagged fields. So they have every field in the file has a tag and then the size of the fields, and you can skip using the size, you can skip over the tags that you don't care about.
Right.
Like I'm not loading any audio from these files, so I can just skip any tags that are like, this is for the audio.
Yeah.
But
can we do you mind if we shift gears here really quick and talk about audio? The games.
Should I close this?
I mean, yeah, you can. I don't know what will open up though. I mean, I don't know if you want to open up anything related to audio, but I just wanted to ask you guys, the music is amazing.
Well,
it
I
is
can just
so
open
well
up the game.
Yeah,
I can get past the debug stuff and then open up the game.
Absolutely.
Go to the like the cat like voice tester menu.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna.
Because we can make the cat sing along. Some of them. There's 3 or 4 songs that are recent that they've not made MIDI files to go with yet.
Wait, what do you mean, Tyler? What are you saying?
The cats can sing along to the songs.
No way.
One sec.
And this is like coded?
Yeah, all the songs, if they have a MIDI file associated with them, I can have the
so
cats
cool. You guys are
play along.
that's so creative.
Okay. Let's see. Let's do a regular sounding cat real quick. Is this it? Yeah. Okay, so these are all these different cats, and this is the audio breakdown that we have for all of them. Each cat, each audio set for each cat has angry, happy, normal, hit, purr, sad, death sounds. And we have a bunch of different guests, artists that come in and or friends and family that meow for us. And it sounds a little like this. And we have them open and close their mouth when the audio stops and starts. And like Tyler was saying, we can make them sing along to the song. So this guy will sing one of the. Let's see what this guy sounds like. I'll have these two sing together. Starts. Stupid. And then we've got don't show that. Cut that part out. Can't open up that tab. Okay, I'll now you can go back to talking.
That's so cool. So can players play with this in game? Or
I mean, you can get to this menu by setting the right flags in the settings file.
Yeah, so the music is incredible. So is it all MIDI except for the voices?
No, only the voices only the cat voices are MIDI. Everything else is normal music.
No, so what I mean is you said there's a MIDI file.
They make a MIDI file.
Yeah, they make a MIDI file, which is what the cats use to sing along with the music.
I see.
Yeah.
Who's writing the music and singing in the game? It's incredible.
Ridiculon did everything, and that's John Evans and Matthias Bossi, who also did all the music for the Binding of Isaac and The End is Nigh, and many other things. And They're very, very, very good. This is 100% their wheelhouse. This is amazing stuff. Very well produced. Lots of guest appearances by different musicians. A big range of genres, but for the most part, it all sounds cohesive and very 50s-ish.
The tone is so interesting. The moment you start up the game, you get this gritty, obviously gray, it's kind of, like a 50s jazz vibe. And I guess on the surface, I would have never thought that would work for a game about cats. But it really, really works. So my last question for you is like, how did you come up with that flavor for the game? Fallout?
Yep. Stole it from Fallout.
Stole it?
I don't know. There's something about... I mean, Fallout stole it from other things. It was that whole like, what if the world did go into nuclear fallout in the 50s and it locked from that point? Like when the bomb was made, what if that happened, nuclear war happened and it ended there and we had to move from that point? I always liked that, that suck in time type stuff. And it felt correct. And originally the game was completely grayscale, just gray. We needed colors to show the classes. I think that was like the key factor of making it more colorful was because you needed that for classes. Yeah. But
they slowly got more and more colorful from there.
Yeah.
People saw like, where's the color? I'm like, look at it. There's color. Like, there is color in the game. Just look at it.
It gets more colorful as it goes too. But yeah, I mean, that was the kind of vibe that I always wanted to go for. This like fallen 50s depressing, weird, smog covered city that was just in disarray. Yeah. And that's where I was building out of. And they really got the vibe. And, all it takes is just an email with a bunch of feelings and maybe a few references song wise, and they just fucking bust it out. And I think there are like 50 tracks in the game, like with fully produced ones.
There's like 3 hours of music, I think.
Yeah. And all of them, I mean, the ones that I heard in the first hour and a half are all very hummable. I would caught myself whistling one of the tracks during lunch before the call. So it's really good melodies. But yeah, from what I've played, and I know Ed, you want me to play 4 hours. But from what I've played, it's really great, man. I'm so excited for you guys, and I think you're gonna have a really good launch. So good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I will take that luck and smoke it.
Did you guys want to close with anything? Any other thoughts before we wrap up here?
Sure. You can wish list the game that is supposed to help. Thomas says so. He told me, so I'm going with that.
I've heard it helps.
I have a feeling you guys don't need wish lists. You already have a huge following, so you're fine, right?
Well, I mean, it does. I mean, we can tell you that once you get to a certain point, the wish lists do come in a little faster because you've
algorithms and AIs and on whatever.
So, but does it translate? We don't know because we haven't released the game yet. And will we know? We won't know. How would we know? Because we don't know if a good chunk of those people that wish listed didn't actually buy it versus the other people that are buying it. And who knows? Who the knows? Do they know? Do we know? Who knows?
Does anybody know?
Does anybody know? Is anybody real
does
anymore?
Anybody know anything? Are we in a simulation?
But for my inspirational out is this: try not to obsess over the financial aspect of things. Try not to obsess over success. If you are late to the game and you're like, how the can you say that I need to pay rent? Then you pay rent with your job and you do this for fun.
Yeah.
Make if something you are young, smaller or whatever.
Yeah. If you are young, if you live at home, if you have an advantage, if you have the advantage to do that, like you have the ability to be a basement dweller, then use it and make a bunch of cool shit, because that's when you can make big risks, take big risks and do crazy shit. Have fun making trying to make something that shows the world who you are, because in the end, that's kind of what you're going to end up doing. Like, you're going to show everybody your guts, and that could be scary, and it can hurt, but it is worthwhile, and it is a healing thing to do.
That's good. Tyler, you got some inspiration for us?
That pretty much covers it, I think. I mean, I don't
Tyler
know.
would say, make small
Make
games.
small things. If you don't know what inspires you yet, if you're like starting out, make stuff. Like, make as much stuff as possible as fast as you can, and don't worry if it's good or not. Like, just get your ideas out there, and then see where that takes you, and then follow the threads that seem promising.
All right, guys, I'm going to let you go here. That was super duper fun. Thank you for giving up your time and coming on the channel. It really means a lot to me.
No problem.
All
Thanks
right.
for having us.
Yep. Links in this description, everybody. If you want to wish list, please wish list if you think it looks cool.
Yeah.
And that's about it.
Right here.